Are you ready? Stand by.
This podcast is brought to you by Breda USA, Italian shotguns that are the best in the world. And this is a shotgun tech tip from Team Breda. Hey, this is Dave Hartman from the 3-Gun Show, and I'm with Tina Martin-Nims from Team Breda, and we are going to learn about choke selection.
So before you go out to the match, you want to make sure that you have an understanding of how what your chokes are patterned at. So what I like to do is I have my 3 main chokes that I usually use, which is a spreader, an IC, an improved cylinder, and a mod. And I set my targets out at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. And it's just like a knockover steel and a flipper. And I test to see what how they perform at those distances with the ammo that I typically use. And so when I go out onto a stage, I already know that at, say, 35 yards, I can use my mod choke and knock it out. And I'll be all ready to go.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's your tech tip from Tina Martin-Nims of Team Breda. Check out Breda's B12i 3-gun ready inertia-driven shotgun at bredausa.com. That's BREDA. This podcast is brought to you by LAG Tactical. I've been using LAG gear for 3 years now, and I just got an upgrade into their new for 2018 MCS mag pouches. MCS stands for Modular Carry System and is a 2-piece design that fits most double-stack 9 and 40 mags and most AR mags. That means I can loan gear to someone in need on the range, even if we're shooting different guns. I've been using these pouches for many matches now, and they've been great. I like that you can choose the retention based on what is required by the stage, speed demon or locked in tight. I've been shooting the low-cut Supernova holster as well, and it has been a dream. They make it in a mid and high cut too if you're into that, but I'm digging the low cut, super fast draws, and plenty of retention when you need it. Check them out, lagtactical.com, and use code 3GS in all caps to save yourself 10% when placing an order. Hey there, and welcome to the 3-Gun Show. I'm your host, Dave Hartman. If you're new here, our regular Wednesday show is a deep dive into the mindset, training, and techniques of the best practical shooters in the world. What you're listening to now is a Match Recon podcast where we have a shooter run down a set criteria and give you the tools needed to excel when shooting the match that we're covering. I do a lot of these recons myself, and if I didn't shoot the match, I interview one of the amazing people in our community that did. This is the replay of the Recon podcast that supporters of the 3-Gun Show on Patreon got to listen to real time. Patreon is a subscription-based service that allows you, the listener, to support creators like myself on a monthly basis. I can't thank the patrons enough for their support of the 3-Gun Show, which helps me to continue bringing regular, high-quality content to you. If you dig the work that I'm doing on the podcast, on YouTube, on Instagram, etc., consider supporting the show with a few bucks each week at patreon.com/3gunshow. That's Patreon. Show notes, including a written breakdown of all the recon criteria, can be found at 3gunshow.com. Just search for the name of this match. Now enjoy this match recon, and I'll see you on the range. Nick Ingmire, match recon, Rocky Mountain 3-Gun. Nick, welcome to the 3-Gun Show.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm excited to have you here. So we're going to do a little bit of a match recon. You're a special field correspondent, Nick Ingmire.
That's right.
And we're going to talk about a match that you shot recently, and it's a match that most of the people in our like little circle go down and shoot, and I've never actually shot myself. So I'm excited to hear about it and hear it from the shooter's perspective. Before that, we do that though. Let's give the audience a little bit of an idea who you are and maybe your background in the shooting sports.
Well, I'm Nick Ingmire. I shoot for Team Chiricahua and Team Cabela's. Been shooting 3-gun about 4.5, 5 years now. I'm out of western Nebraska, but I mainly shoot out of Colorado. So, that's
which is how we know each other.
This is how we know each other, and there's a big shooting scene out here in whatever side of the Rockies this is. I don't know. I'm a Flatlander,
Yeah,
so
Eastern Colorado.
there you go. Yeah.
It's kind of funny to travel 2 hours west and then think you're in Eastern Colorado, right?
Right. But there's a lot of good shooters out here, and that's where I've learned and really excelled learning from these guys, and I don't know.
And well, to set the stage here, we are sitting in a Mexican restaurant after shooting a match, and it was was it called an AK match?
It was AK carbine, all carbine match.
Yeah, so it's an AK match where they allowed us to come play in their sandbox because you and I both shot ARs.
Right.
And then there's a PCC division as well, and it was a Will County Fish and Wildlife, which is where we met, where we shot together for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
We just had some sweet carnitas, and our buddy Drew sitting next to us just wrecking some ice cream.
Mowing on ice cream.
It was making me jealous. So another thing I wanted to mention since you're on the podcast here is for the folks listening, if you remember way back in episode 100, I told the story of my truck falling off a lift.
Yes.
And, rear end went out. My buddy came and saved me. You were my buddy that came and saved me.
I was. I went and picked him up, picked the dog up, and dropped the truck off, and then we had some boat drinks all weekend out at my parents' lake
Yeah.
and tried to forget about it for a little bit.
And then we shot a match there in Omaha.
Yep.
Which turned out terrible for me.
Yeah, I didn't do so well either.
Yeah.
But
So it made for a crappy weekend. Truck breaks down. Boat drinks were the high part. Crashes back down again for the match.
Well, and the crappy thing is it was a shop that I used to work for years ago, and so I recommended Dave
I know that guy.
Dave bring his truck out there, and then he calls me and says, well, they dropped my truck off a lift. And so I felt pretty bad about it. But
He should, and you weren't there.
right.
And they totally did.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, but now you got another sweet truck out of it, so
Sort of.
not liking the diesel.
I'll explain. No, I love that truck. I'll explain the financials later.
Yeah.
It never works out for you when you got to deal with insurance. But so, Nick, let's talk about this match you shot. What match did you shoot?
Okay, well, we shot the 2017 Rocky Mountain 3-gun. This was August 10th through August 13th of this year.
2017?
2017.
For those of you listening in the future.
What did I say?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
You said this year.
Oh, gotcha.
I was just filling in that part.
Okay. Well, this was at NRA Whittington Center in Raton, New Mexico, the famous NRA Whittington Center. So a little bit about this match. Scoring was match points. Rule set was Rocky Mountain 3-gun. They have their own rule set, and they do have their own rule book. Was it on practice score? No, and according to the match directors, it never will be.
They got a nice cork board. What do they need practice score for?
Right. Well, they have like 3 different websites that post scores on, but yeah.
I still haven't seen it. I saw photos of it from one of the guys that was there.
Yeah,
I have no idea where it's posted.
I can link you to it here in a little bit.
That'd be good.
Okay. Some quick stats. The one thing they do, even though they're not on practice score, they do post scores nightly.
Oh, really?
So
how do they do that?
They have not a 24-hour man, but like all day stat shack that's manned.
Oh, okay.
And so they're running in scores as soon as your squad's done shooting. There's a range or an area captain that comes and picks up the scores and runs them in, and they're working real hard to get them in real quick. And so, and then at the end of the shooting day, they'll post them up on the website. It's all in overall, and it's all not by division until the end and stuff. But at least you can kind of see your stages that you shot that day against the other people that shot them. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The schedule on this is an on-off schedule. Okay, so it's 3 stages a day, 3 days, 9 stages.
Okay.
You do get about an hour and a half in between stages. The thing about the Whittington Center, it's a big, sprawling setup.
What was it, like 48,000 acres?
Yeah,
or
something
like
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's insane.
right. And so, and it's all natural terrain stages that they set up in the mountains, in the woods. The road takes you a little of the way to get there, and then you're off-roading to get back to these stages. So the time you have off in between, you got a little time to check out maybe one stage, go, fix a problem with your rifle, zero in, grab a quick bite to eat, and then you're on the next stage getting ready to roll.
Right.
So it's not terribly bad with an on-off schedule.
So that's one contentious thing. It's like I don't particularly like on-off schedules, but I've never shot this match, and it seems like I've been there multiple times. It
Right.
seems like you kind of need it because things are so spread out. You could be driving several miles to go to your next
Correct.
stage.
And this time of year, it's always in August, and it's kind of the monsoon season.
Right.
So it's always muddy, and people get stuck, and you get, roads get washed out, and so it's a challenge just to get even to the stages. So there's plenty of time for that to happen, and it will take up a little bit of your time.
Right.
So,
what was the other question I had on format 3? Oh, so do you walk all 9 stages that first day?
you can.
Do you?
I don't. Staff is shooting. Usually you
Right.
get there the day before, so staff is shooting, and as long as they're not currently shooting that stage, you can walk it. But we try to do. You'll know your schedule as soon as you sign in, so go sign in first, and then look at the 3 stages you're going to shoot first.
Okay.
Go walk those pretty well, get all your game plan going, and then when you're done shooting the first day, you got plenty of time to go walk the other 3 stages. We're usually done shooting by like 3 o'clock. 4
okay.
o'clock, so.
Okay. Cool. Match fee on this one?
Match fee was $300, if I remember.
And number of shooters?
And number of shooters from this match, looking at the overalls, it was about 300 plus staff and sponsors. And I think it was around 325.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And divisions?
So
and winners of those divisions?
This is a big divisional match. There's lots of divisions. So in limited scope, which is their version of TAC Ops, okay, Greg Jordan was the winner of that. Limited irons, which is just limited, Nathan Payne.
So can you have a red dot in limited irons?
Yes.
Okay.
They just name them different.
Okay.
Rule sets are generally the same as you're going to see at other matches.
Okay.
They do some funky rules about staggered mags and stuff like that, so
Right.
you really got to look at your division as far as equipment. But
All right. So Nathan Payne won limited irons.
limited irons. Open was Joel Turner. Then the heavy divisions, you have heavy scope, which Tyler Payne won that. Heavy irons, which you can run a red dot in heavy irons. Mike Payne won that, which is interesting. So there's 3 Paynes that have won 3 divisions.
Right.
None of them are related.
No, Tyler and Nathan are.
Are they? Okay.
They're brothers.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're brothers.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the top 5 divisions. They also recognize top lady, top junior, top law, top military.
I'm sorry, did you say open? Who won open?
Yeah. Joel Turner.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did I miss
You're
that
good.
part?
You're good. So they all also recognize top lady, top junior, top law, top military, top senior, super senior in each division. So JP, the title sponsor of the match, he also gives away a top 25% pin.
Mm-hmm.
So if you shoot top 25% in your division, I think he calls it a master pin
Right.
or whatever, and it stems back to the original SOF days, and
It's a significant thing.
it is very significant. And guys that hunt it and can't seem to get it, and when they finally get it, that's what you go there to shoot
Right.
for, So and guys like Michael Payne, he's got one in 4 different divisions, and he's working
Wow.
on,
I mean, that's cool. That's a cool thing, like a little extra
Right.
something that's kind of special, but it's not like special like one step closer to the front of the prize table. It's something that has like intrinsic value,
Right. And this style of match, it's very easy to get out of the top 25%. It's a tough match,
Yeah.
So you really got to be on your game, and the amount of talent that shows up to these matches, it's a deserving top 25% for sure.
Cool.
So
Other shooting opportunities?
So, other than being at the NRA Whittington Center and getting to utilize all of their many ranges for many different things, during the match they do a team match. So it's 4 guys. It's an extra cost on the side, but 4 guys, and they all have to be in a different division. And so you sign up, and they will take you to a secret disclosed stage, and they'll walk you through
Undisclosed?
or undisclosed, sorry. And they'll walk you through, and you shoot that stage, and they take your time, and then they take your individual times, and they add them together, And so 50% of your individual times and 50% of your stage time. And then the top 4 will go into a shoot-off on Sunday.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Did you get to see the stage afterwards?
Yeah, we shot it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Didn't do so well. Our team name wasn't allowed either, so you probably won't. We're Team BS. If you can figure out what it actually stood for, then you can.
Bull signals?
You can get them closer.
All right. What is the match flavor?
It's the match flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a brutal, high in the mountains, natural terrain. It's a rifleman's match as well. I mean, you're shooting. We're used to 200-yard base stages,
right here in
50-yard base stages. I mean, you're shooting out to 550. There's a lot of long range, a lot of flashers, a lot of uncomfortable positions.
Yeah, that's another thing I've seen quite a bit when I've been down there is put you on reverse stairs, reverse rooftops, lying in the rocks.
I'm super happy that there was not one ladder that I had to shoot off of this year. That used to be in the past quite a big thing with Denise and JJ.
Yeah, rickety ladders, piles of sticks.
Oh yeah. We shot off quite a bit of piles of sticks this year, but it is what it is.
So the elevation. So you come from Sydney,
Nebraska, which is 4,000.
Yeah. So does it affect you much?
A little bit
going down there.
Yeah. Especially, you got to kind of get in shape for this match.
Yeah.
I mean, you're running. Most stages are 100 to 150 yards and up a hill, or down through a gully and then up a hill, and then they tend to like to put rifle at the end after you've been running for a long time. So getting control of your breathing real quick, or as fast as you can, helps a lot. So it's definitely something that you want to work on before you come shoot the match.
Right.
Well,
I've been I've been gone from Denver for quite a while. Came back for a month in July, left for another month and a half, and then I came back. And last week, I went mountain bike with our buddy Kevin. Mm-hmm. I just got my butt handed to me, man. The elevation just absolutely killing me.
Right. Oh yeah. Even just being at 4,000, even going up into Wyoming up to 6,000 and 7,000 just to go hiking for an hour or two. I mean, you can tell a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I spent most of my life at 4,800 feet, so I never really had that sort of experience, because when you go from 4,800 to almost 8,000, it's not too bad.
Right.
But then once you hit, I found that once I hit 10, then I noticed I'm a little labored, and then 12 is where I'm I kind of want to nap.
Right. Yeah, energy's going down. And all
yeah,
that
pretty
stuff.
much.
And some guys go as far as bringing bottled oxygen and stuff, especially the lower sea level guys. But
yeah, I saw that for the first time at the Colorado match, canned oxygen that you can get at Walmart.
Right. Yeah,
it's hilarious.
They say it helps. I mean, I don't know if it's a recovery thing or what. I don't know if they're taking hits of oxygen just before they shoot, boost performance. But
strap it to your face and go around the stage.
Right.
All right. So what is the terrain like? Obviously, completely natural terrain. But what kind of terrain's different everywhere in the country. What kind of stuff can you expect?
Right. So this is in the Rocky Mountains. A lot of it is base of mountains in grassy land. Lots of big rocks they like to run around. They like to do a lot of stages into river gullies and try to run off from the mountains and stuff. So, and like I said, it's kind of in the monsoon season. So if it rains, it's going to get swampy, and it does. And
I think that's hilarious.
It's generally the guys that shoot in the morning get the advantage. The guys in the shoot in the afternoon kind of get the shaft with that. Mm-hmm. But it's not easy. None of the terrain is easy.
All right.
And they make sure that it's in kind of difficult spots. And I shouldn't say they're not going out of their way to make you trip or anything like that. But, I mean, you got to watch your footwork. You got to watch where you're going.
Right.
Be aware of when you're on your walkthrough, be aware, hey, this is my mark, but I may trip over this rock on the way because I'm paying attention to this, or, whatever. So
I gotcha. Traditionally, you RO this match and shoot it.
Yeah,
did you do that this year?
I did not. That's kind of why I agreed to do the match recon for this, because I shot it this year just as a shooter.
Okay.
And
so you got to experience it. Now, is this your first time just shooting it?
Correct.
Okay.
I've RO'd it the last 3 years, and it was a big match in getting to getting me to where I'm at in my shooting, because I kind of dove in with both feet. And so getting to RO this incredible match for 3 years running, and this is the first time, I've RO'd like Jerry and all those guys, and getting to run behind those guys and stuff. If you're a new shooter, this is definitely a match to volunteer in.
Yeah.
You get your match fee paid for, you get your stay paid for, and your scores go in with everyone else's. So you walk the prize table based on how well you do,
A lot of our local dudes have done that for a few years, and everyone has said it's been a great experience in learning how to shoot the game.
Right. You get to learn the rule sets. You get to RO a tough match, but then you get to watch some of the best in the world come and shoot in a style that you don't normally get to see them shoot in. A lot of guys come from out east where they're not running up mountains and shooting 550 yards and all that stuff. So it's cool.
I like watching the Texans do it. Come from the flatland
from way down
where
there.
Everything's like, oh, that mountain over there. Like, nah, buddy, that's a hill.
See, and it makes me wonder about the AMU. Are they running up mountains for like 2 months before they come out there and
or are they
really
in Georgia?
Training?
Yeah. Maybe they put them in the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, put some of them restriction masks where you can't breathe on.
Yeah, put them in hyperbaric chambers at night or something like that, like Michael Jackson was in.
Yep.
All right, what are the skills you utilize, Nick?
So skills utilized in this. So physical fitness being one. I mean, you don't have to be the most physical fit, but it's definitely going to help you. Like I said, being able to control your breathing quicker once you're done sprinting 100 yards up a mountain. This is like I said, a rifleman's match. Most of your shot, there's some rifle paper to kind of, fill in the goalies, but almost every stage that has rifle on it, you're shooting 150 yards to 550 yards on flashers. There's generally 5 to 7 flashers out there. And you don't always shoot the same targets. It may be 3 positions where you can see 4 targets from one position. You move to another position and 3 more become available. So you got to know your distance, got to know your holdovers, know your rifle in and out. And then, pistol and shotgun come in pretty big on this too. They do an all-rifle stage, they do an all-pistol stage, and they do an all-shotgun stage. And I think it was this year was 38 bird shot for the all-shotgun.
Right.
So,
well, they've got flying birds, or at least they did last year. Did they do that this year?
Oh, yeah, they did.
And it's not just like the traditional toasters that go straight up, right? They're like zingers.
They got the shotgun stage this year had the 3 clay swingers, popper activator toasters, popper activator clay throwers, a rabbit. And I don't know if you ever tried to shoot a rabbit.
Yeah, I shot one in Minnesota. Nailed that bad boy.
Did you? Because about 30% probably got it this year.
That was about the ratio that was in Minnesota.
Right.
That was so did you see that picture of me when I got stung in my eye?
I did. I laughed a little bit.
You should have. It was hilarious. So I think I killed 3 Benadryl, maybe 4 or something like that. I didn't read the label, but it turns out you're not supposed to do that. So I fell asleep in my truck, and then when I woke up, they're like, "Well, you ready to shoot?" I'm like, "Okay." So that was the one that we had the rabbit on. So yeah, apparently Benadryl calms me, puts me in a good place to shoot.
You were zen with the rabbit.
I was, dude. That thing was moving so slow in my mind. I was like, "I got you, buddy." Come on.
We were doing things like, well, if you get to this position, you're kind of behind it, so you got a better shot at it. Well, and then it would come out and it.
So Nick had a little bit of technical difficulty there. I just learned the importance of clearing out memory cards before starting interviews.
Yeah,
my apologies.
Turns out they have a limit on how much you can put on them.
Yeah, and to be honest, some of that stuff you said was the most brilliant things that have ever been dropped on this podcast.
Dude, it felt really good.
Were you like in the zone?
I was, dude. And then you said, I think there's a problem.
It was like a flow state. So we're in the middle of talking about the pistol gully run, and I think we cut off right before I asked you, how did you feel about the no-look stage? What did you think about being able to shoot something with only a 4-minute walkthrough?
With the limited walkthrough, I really enjoyed it. It was a break from the norm on what we traditionally do. But like I said earlier, I shot it pretty good, so of course I enjoyed it. The guys that may have struggled, they may have had some bad things to say about it.
Right.
But all in all, I'd be even okay with an all blind stage, especially on something. I mean, it's there wasn't a lot of crazy direction. It was in a river bottom that forced you to go in one direction. So it was.
So you didn't really have like a choice. It's not like there's like this huge option stage where like, oh, I need to select which gun to use here.
Right, and there wasn't 10 different ways to shoot it either. Everyone ran down the same path and shot the same targets in the same order. Mostly, right. Yeah. And the thing with the 4 minutes is that was barely enough to program in the first third progression of the stage. After that, it was hope for the best and and hunt and peck.
Well, and I don't know if it got cut off or not, but you said that there were some long pistol shots at the end of this.
At the very beginning, so there was 3 and 3, 3 off the left, 3 off the right. That were I forget what they call those targets, but kind of like full size milk jug steel targets out there. Out to, I think the farthest one was like 70 yards. So, I mean, it's a sizable target at 70 yards. The trick with that was just to take your time and a well-aimed shot and get off that first position, and then away you go. So,
I like to hold top right and then jerk the trigger.
That works out well for you. If you know where you're hitting, I guess you got to do what you got to do.
I think that's about all that we missed there. So speaking of blind stages, so we do it every week at what's it called, club matches, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we were just BSing by my truck and loading magazines this morning. It's not like we went and walked the stages before we shot them.
Right.
You get that 5-minute walkthrough and then it's go time.
Right. We're not programming in before stage briefing or anything like that. At even the match we shot today, it was you do your 5 minutes and especially today, I don't even think we took full 5 minutes. It was everyone walked through it once or twice, and all right, let's go, let's shoot. But
yeah, I kind of did that. Like, I got this. So,
and I don't know if, and generally those pistol stages I haven't done so well in the past. I've done well. I just haven't gone fast.
Right.
I made sure I got everything, and having the limited walkthrough, I don't know if I just said screw it, I'm going for it, and it turned out well for me, or what, or how that works. But it'd be interesting to do another one like that to see.
Yeah.
How all that goes.
So, slugs.
Yeah, there was a couple at this match, not as many as previous years. I think there's 5 total, 2 stages, 3 on one and 2 on the other.
Last year I seem to remember that there was double that on like one stage, right?
There was quite a bit last year, and I think it was the year before that, the World Shoot, we even tried some buckshot and stuff like that. Nothing's past 100, and they're sizable targets. I think they're 10 by 12 hanging steels and stuff. So, and they like to paint their targets crazy colors to stand out for you and stuff too. So
which is nice.
Yeah, it's not hard to spot. Rifle targets were a little tricky this year. We had an outbreak of wild sunflower, which is yellow and black, and so they put yellow backers on the back.
Oh, yellow and black. It's like black in the middle. It's round, and it has a yellow background.
Right. So then you have a 10-inch black steel flasher with a yellow background. And so there was one stage, when we're walking it, you could see them clear as day. They were behind a sunflower patch, but you were shooting off this little simulated rooftop, and so once you got down on the clock with your rifle, all of a sudden they're in a sunflower patch, and you're like, oh crap, where'd they go? And again, advantage goes to the guys that shoot that the last day, because people have plowed holes through sunflowers, and so you just look for where everyone's shooting and like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, like shooting lanes almost.
Right. Yep.
So the what was the farthest shot and number of long range targets?
So farthest shot, and I may be wrong on this year, but generally it's 550, and it's a full IPSC on a strobe flashers.
Okay.
To know that
I like the strobe flashers.
Right. They do a couple of these shaker 16-inch flashers at about 450. Instead of flipping up and flashing the card, they'll swivel, and then there's 2 orange flashers on each corner, so you'll see those. Just because it's a heavy target, it's the 16-inch target, so it won't 223 won't swing it as much. So if it shakes it, it'll show the orange and you can see it.
Interesting.
Plus, on those longer range stages, they do good about putting 3 to 4 ROs and at least 2 on glass, 1 on a spotter scope. And they do really good about training up their ROs beforehand. They do an RO class, then 4 days before you even get there for the match, the ROs are there walking stages, making sure everything's good to go, no safety issues, and then they shoot it for 2 to 3 days. They'll shoot the whole match. So they're pretty up to par with everything that's going on.
So how many long range? Long range, like say 200 or more.
7 stages.
Yeah.
7 of the 9, because the other 2 were an all pistol and
so
an all
7
shotgun.
stages had shots past 200.
Oh, I'm sorry. 6 of the stages, because there was an optional pistol shotgun stage.
Okay.
But yeah, anything that had rifle had flashers and were at least past 150 to 200.
Interesting. Okay.
You know. Like I said, this is a rifleman's match. You gotta know how to shoot your rifle at this match.
How are the logistics? Check-in, scoring, prize table walk, etc.
Check-in's pretty straightforward. You go to the stat shack, give you your name. They give you your shooter's pack and your rule booklet, your shooter number, your ticket to get into the Friday barbecue,
which is the most important thing they give you.
It is a blast. It is a fun time because they do door giveaways for fun too, and you can buy raffle tickets and stuff too.
Who was it? Dick LaShawn last year?
Yeah. I should have put that.
Tell this story.
I should have put that on the list not to talk about.
My bad.
Yes, Churchicon, Team Churchicon Captain Dick LaShawn. Him and Jay Carrillo were at the match last year, and so we're all sitting at dinner, and Dick wasn't feeling too well, and he wanted to go back to the room. He said, "Hey, can you watch my tickets for me?" And I said, "Sure, not a problem." He's like, "I won't win anyways." Well, the last prize of the night was a custom JP rifle.
Yeah.
That's worth, whatever, $4,000 or whatever. And it's
nice rifle too.
Nice rifle,
it was
custom painted.
the presentation grade, wasn't it?
Right, and it was I think it was laser etched with Rocky Mountain 2016 and all that stuff. Well, of course, Dick's ticket comes up, and I'm like, "Oh, I won!" And I'm like, "No, I did not win, but yes, I did." And everyone's clapping for me.
Like,
and,
yeah, Nick. And you're
and
just shaking your head.
For a split second, I was like, "Well, he'll never know." And I'm like, I can't do that to him." So I go up there and I tell him, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and they announce it. And so then I'm trying to call him, and he won't answer the phone. And he's like out. And so I finally get a hold of Carrillo, and they're driving in a golf cart because they flew in. Right. And I think Timney gave him a golf cart to roll around or something. Timney
he brought that.
Oh, did he?
I mean, Tommy from Timney dragged it down there for him, but that's Jay's golf cart.
Oh, that's Jay's golf cart? Yeah, so it took him a good 20 minutes to get back from competitor housing to where we were at and stuff on the golf cart. But, yeah, it all worked out well, and Dick's still shooting that rifle today. He loves it, so. Good for him, I guess.
That's a hard one, dude.
Yeah, but
all right. So let's talk about the venue. This is
Did you want to? Let me back you up. Did you want to talk about the prize table for a minute?
Yeah.
Because this. So.
Yeah. Tell me. Well, yeah. Let's. Check-in's easy. Tell me about scoring and prize table walk.
Scoring's pretty easy. They have their own sheets that they keep track of, and then you have your own for you to keep for rebuttal or anything like that. And like I said, the stats get run in after every stage. And usually when you're done for the day, you can go stat check your scores if you have any kind of issue and get that resolved and stuff. Prize table is something I want to talk about because some people, this is kind of the one weird thing about this match that some people have. So how they do this is.
Some people seem to have issues with it.
They do.
But Rocky Mountain has done it this way for many, many years. Oh. And they're upfront in how it goes. So, everyone knows going in, but there are a lot of people that are butthurt afterwards.
Absolutely, and they have one of the best prize tables that I've ever seen in a match. They have so many good sponsors that open up their pocketbooks and all their stuff and just send them gobs of stuff. Tons of guns, tons of scopes. They do cash prizes. They do all sorts of stuff. But how they do this is you walk. It's an overall table. Okay, there's not a limited table and an open table and a tag-off table. It's all one table. They do separate out some of the guns for the heavy guys and the open guys for the top shooters, division winners and stuff.
Why do they do that?
Just so they get a gun type thing. They're JP rifles. It's a JP match.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm assuming, So the division winners get that option, or they can take, cash prize or something. But if it's a specific division prize, then it stays in that division if they opt out of it.
Oh, okay. So, I gotcha.
Second place will get that option or whatever. But then the overall prize table is based on your percentage in your division, not overall.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
So if I'm, say, how's this an example? So say that I'm running TAC ops, right, and I'm 50%.
Right.
But overall, I'm I don't know. You wouldn't go up, right? You'd be like 30%?
So let's say you shoot 50% in your division, and I'm in a different division.
TAC Op's probably a bad example because of the Horner curve.
Right.
Or the Jordan
well,
curve.
It's all the AMU curve now,
Yeah,
man. They're all so good now.
Well, and those bastards have spread out of the different
right.
the same division.
Right.
Smart guys.
So let's say you shoot 50% in your division, and I shoot 37% in my division.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm sorry, 73% in my division. But your overall match points in your division overall is better than mine.
My overall percentage.
Right. I would still walk before you.
Right, because you finished higher in your division.
Right, but not overall.
So that's why you seem to get some people that jump into open division with TAC Ops gear.
Oh, it's
like all they do is stuff their shotgun full.
It's the mad scramble.
Yeah.
And Denise and JJ have done a good job about limiting guys jumping because they're tanking or whatever, or
Well, and I've heard in the past that some people will do that. Like on the last stage, they'll just load their shotgun up full. Like, I guess I'm in open.
Yeah, I don't know. They think you got a better chance to walk the prize table, so I'm jumping to open. And it's like, well, it's kind of lame to me. Just shoot. You didn't do so well.
Cheater.
So be it. Come back next year and kick ass.
Suck less.
All right.
Okay.
So that's the prize table. Just figured I'd throw that out there. That's probably the most controversial part of it.
Yeah, and I think that is something important to talk about. So thanks for bringing that one back.
Mm-hmm.
Venue, NRA Whittington Center.
The gorgeous NRA Whittington Center.
So the place is almost indescribable. Like nothing anyone ever said did it justice until I was actually there.
Right, and even pictures that you see don't do it justice until you're there.
No, it's incredible.
All right, and it's weird too because when you pull up off the highway and you go to the little shack and you sign in and stuff, it still doesn't look.
It's a prairie there.
Right. Then you drive in a couple miles and get to the ranges and where everyone stays, and it is fantastic.
Yeah.
World-class shooting center. I mean, any of your poisons on shooting, you want to shoot high power, you want to shoot.
They got like pistol silhouette. They've got sporting clays, five stand, trap, skeet, several. They got to chase the damn antelope off so you can shoot trap and skeet. But the what else they have? They have so many different games I've never heard of. Schwetzen or whatever the heck it is. And
the Schützen range.
They have all that stuff. They have
a lot of the police.
Something walk, Cooper walk.
Yeah.
There's a ton of ranges out there. They have, and then the opportunity to shoot the 1,200 yard buffalo.
Yep. The big white buffalo. Everyone, that's kind of a rite of passage. You go to the NRA Whittington Center. You got to shoot the white buffalo.
So last year, I went down for the match. I wasn't shooting the match, but I was just covering for the podcast and doing interviews. The day after though, I was like, oh man, I want to stay here another day. So I went down to the front gate. I'm like, hey, what would it cost to get a pass and then get one more night in the RV spot? And they're like, well, if you want a day pass, it's $27. If you want a year pass, it's $37. It's like, okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so I got a year pass.
Yeah, I would.
To the NRA Whittington Center. And I could use any of the ranges that were there.
Right, and you're only, 4 hours away from there?
Well, I mean, at the time I was just traveling full-time, so my next stop was so far away, but might re-up my membership now. But it was incredible being the only one there after a match, and I could just shoot anywhere I wanted.
Oh, yeah.
It was nuts.
You don't even have to be on the range. You can just, go walking through the woods and start shooting back in the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't.
They've got one of the cool things that they had was they had an automated plate rack, like an MGM plate rack.
Oh, yeah.
Swipe a credit card, $5, and it goes through these little, these little pistons come up and the plates come up like a whack-a-mole, kind of thing. Yeah, it was really cool. Or at least it was in the demonstration because it didn't actually work. But it still took my $5.
See, and that's what's interesting about the Whittington Center. They, even though it's NRA, they don't operate under the NRA. It's all people that come there and pay and donations and people using the facility, and that's how they operate year to year.
Yeah. Yeah, so if people fly in, do they generally fly into DIA to Denver?
I think so.
Fly to Denver, rent a car, and then it's about a 4.5-hour trip down there.
4 to 4.5 hours straight down I-25.
Yeah.
Raton is the closest town. It's just over the border into New Mexico from Colorado. if you
amazing little town.
it's an interesting little town, but they're getting better about hosting this, and there's some decent restaurants now. And part of the prize pack or the shooters pack, you get some discount coupons to some of the restaurants.
Oh, is that right?
And stuff.
How cool is that?
Yeah, and this is the first year I've seen them do that. But it's.
I could see
cool.
Denise putting something like that together.
Right. Well, and they live down there.
Yeah, they now live down there.
So they definitely are more part of that community.
Yeah, for sure.
Match, so
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So obviously, creative use of facility. Give them a thumbs up on that one.
Yeah, because not one actual range was used for the match. It's all natural.
Yeah. Well, and
in the woods.
We should say that there are several bays for action shooting, right?
Yep.
Like it's an active USPSA club.
Yep.
That is there like monthly or something like that.
Yep. USPSA, I know the police pistol is held out of there.
Yep. Small bore stuff.
Yep. High power, all that stuff. They got 1,000-yard silhouette range, and they got all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yep. Really incredible place. Full RV park. 2 RV parks, actually. Like, you can choose how nice you want it.
Right.
Competitor housing, like you said. There's, like, cabins to rent.
Yeah, competitor housing's like a pod-style thing. There's a central living room, and then there's, like, 5 offshoots that have 4 rooms with their own kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
2 beds in each room. I think they're singles, but, so there's 3 competitor housing cabins. You can fit quite a lot of shooters in there.
Yeah.
Plus, they have primitive camping.
Right.
So you want to go sleep next to the bears and the coyotes?
Yeah.
You can do that.
I would not recommend doing that. And the mountain lions?
That's what the other crazy thing about the Whittington Center, the wildlife, man. It's everywhere.
Most ROs walk around like open carrying pistols because
the snakes. Yeah.
For snakes.
We didn't get that many snakes this year, as far as I know. But like I said, I wasn't working it, so I didn't get to get in on all those good details and stuff. We got there on Wednesday, and we walked a couple stages, and we went to the sighting range, and I'm shooting at this 400-yard coyote silhouette, and it's kind of in this cut into the trees with a mound behind it, and I'm banging away at this thing, and I don't notice, and all of a sudden, guy's couple seats down, he's like, "Hey, man, don't hit that bear." And I'm like, "What?" And I kind of zoom out on my scope a little bit, and about 10 yards away from the target, there's a black bear just kind of dump hanging around, I'm banging rounds right next to it, and it couldn't care less, Right. So that's just kind of the way it goes out there,
Yeah.
We had a couple stages where we had to stop for deer crossing through the rifle targets or turkeys.
Mm-hmm. I saw a Roadrunner out there. Yeah. Which is weird because I saw the Roadrunner, and then I thought, I saw a coyote yesterday.
Yep. Lots of antelope out there. There's lots of mule
tons
deer.
Of antelope. Yep. A lot of mule deer.
If you're lucky and it's a little cooler, the elk herds start coming down.
Yep. And the stars at night are amazing because there's not a whole lot of light pollution out there.
And then you can drive up kind of in the old mine.
Oh,
back in the canyons, and you lose all natural light.
I don't remember what kind of mine it is, but
I think it used to be a coal mine.
Was it a coal mine?
I think so.
But there's several like old ruins or whatever you call it of towns,
right?
And like general stores. This is where the post office was. This is where all the housing for the workers was, and stuff like that. It's just an incredible place. Tons of history.
Absolutely, yeah. And once in a while, they'll put up stages on some of that stuff, kind of in that area back there, and so it's neat.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so how was pre-communication?
Denise is really good about pre-communication, if not overly. We love you, Denise, but
is it email? Snail mail?
Okay. And she sends out quite a bit, and she lets you know what's going on, and round counts, everything. And then she's really good about responding. If you've got a question, just email her back, and if she don't respond to you in 10 minutes, I mean, it's rare.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they've got a pretty decent match book too that actually has like the schedule, the squad matrix.
Yes.
So you know where you're supposed to be and stuff like that.
Everything's great about the match book. Just don't count on the map so much. Things tend to change.
Yeah.
Bears like to come and rearrange stuff in the middle of the night, and it just happens. It's a natural terrain match. You get what you get. But.
Right. I guess we should have covered this in logistics, but to sign up for this match, you have to mail an application and a check, right?
Yes.
And then you have to do that on the day that it opens. Otherwise, you get put on the wait list because everybody does it on the day that it opens, right?
I'm pretty sure. I that's something we'd have to get involved with her.
Yeah.
You know,
I know several years ago I signed up and I waited like 4 days and I got put on the wait list.
See, no, I want to say that I did an online application now this year, but
Oh, really?
yeah. But me, like I said, I've worked it for the last couple of years,
Right.
so I just, for me, I just said, hey, Denise, I'm going to come shoot the match. Throw me in, and then she sent me what I needed to fill out and stuff. But,
Oh, okay.
I'll give you the
and this is
website with all that information.
This is a match where if you shot it before, you're pretty much guaranteed to shoot it again, right?
I think you get first dibs,
Right.
kind of like some of the other matches.
Yeah. That's probably why I got waitlisted is because I was a newbie.
Yeah. And the thing
And
with
they don't like newbies.
the thing with Denise, and half the reason why she doesn't go to practice court is she knows every shooter by name that comes through that door, all 300 of them, and she knows, who they shouldn't shoot with, who they can shoot with. Like, you can email her squad requests and stuff, but she's really good about putting good people together and know what's going to mesh well and run the match smooth and all that stuff. So she takes a lot of pride in this match. And JJ does too, but Denise does a little more of the
Logistics and admin type stuff.
yeah, and the personal side to it.
Right.
JJ
Seems like it'd be
designs
stressful.
matches, and I wouldn't want to do it.
I wouldn't want to do it
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
All right. How was staff? You're a little partial on this one, but how was staff?
Staff is great, man. Like I said, they go through great lengths to make sure that their staff knows the rules, are trained, are confident in ROing. A lot of the staff are recurring. Everyone comes every year from all over the country. You got the Crowders that come up from Texas. And
Dude, John?
Mm-hmm.
It's John's last name from Great Britain.
Oh,
Sorry,
is it
John.
Powers?
No.
No, that's David Powers.
Yeah. Shoot.
John X.
Yeah,
That's
there you go,
his
John
name.
X.
Sorry, John. I was
I
just
thought,
trying
I thought it was a fake name when I first met him.
Right.
Sorry, John.
He unfortunately couldn't make it this year for some personal reasons, but he'll be back next year. So.
Yeah. John's a cool dude.
And if John ever offers you chocolate or anything, decline.
I would have to say no. It's part of the experience.
Okay.
You got to
Well,
accept
then
it.
Try it out.
Yeah. Accept whatever he gives you. It's part of the experience. All right. So how was the fun factor for you? What was the Nick factor?
This match is always fun, but in talking with some of the guys on my squad and some of the other shooters, this is probably the best. This year was the best the match has been.
Really?
In the last 4 years. The World Shoot a couple years ago was neat and interesting, but it was a 5-day match, and it was
It's a lot of match.
It was it was like, I think it was 15 stages or something like that.
Yeah.
But, fun factors out of this world. I mean, every stage was well thought out, well designed. Nothing was, we could have done this better in the stage design or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of, we could have shot this better. But, there wasn't any weird gimmicks or, go to this box, shoot these colored targets, and then go to this box and shoot these, and then you forget where you're at and all that stuff. This is a shooter's match this year,
Cool.
If you messed up, it was on your own,
Cool.
So
Yeah, I'm not real big on like gimmicky stuff.
Right.
I like the freedom, and that's like why I like 3-gun. I like the freedom of just being able to go and shoot the stage.
right. In most of these matches being natural terrain, there's usually a path that it dictates,
Yeah.
but it is pretty wide open to your interpretation. If you want to run over here and shoot these 3 and run over there, so be it, man. As long as you're not breaking 180 and you're safe and you're shooting the appropriate targets, man, it's all up to you.
Right.
There's not a shooting box or a shooting area. It's, run through these trees or run down this river bottom or whatever.
Right.
So it's
Nice.
neat, and you see a lot of different ways people do it. So
Anything else you want to add to the fun factor?
just being at the Whittington Center, man, that place is awesome. Wildlife. If you enjoy the outdoors, you'll love this match. You spend a lot of time. Plus,
And shooting rifle.
yeah, and plus, you get the normal shenanigans of the guys that run the circuit and come in and shoot. But
Yeah, so that's
the Marine Corps shooting teams there. The AMU guys are there. A lot of the big names are there. And like I said, it's a lot of recurring ROs and a lot of recurring shooters. So it's kind of like a family thing. It's like, hey, we're back again.
Right.
So it's a whole lot of fun.
Any funny things that happened at the match? Any
Well,
good stories?
told you my bear story. A lot of it has to do with the animals on the stage. Like we had one that, you know, maybe we should have stopped it, but we're shooting in between herds of deer to hit targets as they're walking through. It wasn't they're ever really in danger, but it's like it happens quite a bit there.
Right.
You know,
they just don't seem to care.
They don't at all. I mean, there's rounds cracking, right over there, right by them, and they could care less. So I just guess they're used to it living on a giant shooting range all the time,
Stupid deer.
And the bears will come over and tear down signs and knock down targets at the night, and sometimes you'll see them dragging bear traps up the mountain and stuff, and then all of a sudden it goes away. But it's a unique place to shoot, and everybody's got to shoot it at least once.
Yeah.
Once in your life.
Yeah. This year is my 2018 is going to be my Western tour, so I'm going to try to hit mostly matches out west, which, Rocky Mountain would be one of those.
Superstition.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain Superstition, Surefire, those Montana multigun, which I love. Actually, no one signed up for that match until I do. It's really hard to get into.
Is it?
Yeah, and so those types of things.
You gonna go up northwest and all that stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. So basically, anything west of Denver.
Okay, very cool.
That's the goal anyway. I'm not gonna shoot everything, unfortunately, just because there's not enough time and resources. But I'm gonna figure out which ones I want to shoot and go make them happen. But
absolutely,
yeah, this looks like after 7 years in the sport, I'll finally go to Rocky Mountain.
You got to shoot at least. I cannot stress that enough. It is a tough, challenging match. It's an amazing match. It will humble you quick if you if you let your rifle slip a little bit. You're like, I'll be all right. Or I won't check my zero or chrono my loads.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the wrong match not to zero, not to chrono your loads.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
good times. Well, Nick, man, this has been fun. Thanks for sticking with me after the match. I know you got a long ride home here.
Yeah.
And thanks for putting the time into doing the match recon. I think this makes the community better.
Absolutely.
And totally appreciate you for doing it, man.
Absolutely. Anytime, man. I really appreciate what you're doing with this, man. It helps out a lot,
Thanks, brother. Appreciate that. So I'm back in Denver for a while, so I'm going to be seeing you at local matches and stuff like that, and we're going to be shooting together, so I'm pretty pumped for that.
Absolutely, man. I'm coming down.
Cool. So. Nick, thanks for being on the Three Gun Show, man. This has been a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Have a good night, guys.
Hey, before you take off, be sure to check out the show notes at threegunshow.com for links to things that we discussed in the podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Armalite, the original. Armalite rifles put the AR in AR-15. The rifles themselves come with 1-8 twist barrels, match barrels, 18-inch or 13.5-inch with a 15-inch or 12.5-inch handguard, Timney trigger, Luth AR stock, adjustable gas system, tunable comp, a patented tunable comp. This thing's ready to go right out of the box for a 3-gun with no additional modifications other than putting on a nice optic. I myself use a Vortex Viper PST 1-6 when I'm shooting TAC Ops or their Spitfire when I'm shooting limited. Check them out at armalite.com. A quick reminder that if you enjoyed this podcast, consider supporting the show on Patreon for as little as $5 per month. That's like 3 rounds of 9mm per episode. Patreon.com/3gunshow. That's Patreon.
If you are finished, unload, show clear.